There is a silent force more powerful than talent, more reliable than motivation, and more essential than perfection. That force is consistency. In a world driven by flashes of brilliance and bursts of energy, those who rise, stay, and lead are not always the most gifted, but the most consistent. You may not always feel inspired. You will face failure. You will get tired. But your ability to show up, especially when it's hardest, will separate you from everyone else. Today is not about getting motivated for a moment. It's about building the muscle of consistency for a lifetime. Here are 6 core principles that will help you force yourself, not gently nudge, but force yourself to become consistent. No matter what. Motivation feels good, but it's unreliable. It's that temporary high you get after hearing a powerful speech or watching a clip of someone crushing their goals. For a moment, it ignites a fire inside you. You want to move mountains, change your life, become a new person. But then the emotion fades, the video ends, the music stops. And you're back to your ordinary life with the same challenges, the same distractions, and the same excuses. This is the truth no one likes to admit. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fuel. Discipline is the quiet, often uncelebrated choice to keep going, especially when everything in you wants to stop. It's not exciting. It doesn't always feel good, but it works. You don't build success on your best days. You build it on the hard days. The boring days, the days when you want to do anything but stay consistent. And this is where most people fall apart. They think they need to feel inspired in order to act. But the people who truly win in life don't act because they feel like it. They act because they've made a promise to themselves that they refuse to break. Take any elite performer, not just athletes, but artists, entrepreneurs, writers. Do you think they wake up every day feeling driven, full of energy, perfectly aligned with their purpose? Absolutely not. They face the same resistance. You do, but they've built systems around their goals. Systems that don't rely on how they feel in the moment. They show up because they've trained themselves to show up regardless of emotion. Picture the Olympic runner training in freezing rain before the sun rises. Nobody's watching, no applause, no glory. Just a lonely track and aching muscles. That's not motivation, that's discipline. Serena Williams once admitted, "I hated every minute of training." Hated it, but she didn't stop. She didn't walk away. She suffered then, so she could live the rest of her life as a champion. That mindset is rare. Most people run when it gets hard. The successful ones run toward the hard things. The truth is, your mind will always look for the easy way out. It will whisper to you, "Do it tomorrow, skip just this once. You've earned a break." And the more you listen to that voice, the stronger it becomes. But if you train yourself to act anyway, to move forward despite the voice, you build a new identity. One where you're not a slave to temporary feelings. One where you trust yourself to follow through, even when it's uncomfortable. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It takes work. But every time you do the thing you didn't want to do, every time you go to the gym tired, study when you're distracted, or push through your routine when you'd rather lay in bed, you're laying another brick in the foundation of discipline. And over time, those bricks become a fortress. A fortress that protects your goals, your dreams, your future, waiting to feel like it is a trap. You can't build a meaningful life on fleeting emotions, but you can build it on discipline. Discipline delivers what motivation never can. Consistency, confidence, results. It teaches you to keep your word, to yourself most of all. And when you become that person, the one who shows up no matter what, you stop hoping for progress and start creating it. That's when everything changes. Most people wait for the perfect conditions before they start something important. They wait for motivation, clarity, or a sign that now is the right time. But the people who actually build something great, whether it's a body, a business, or a better version of themselves, don't wait. They build routines. They treat their habits like appointments carved in stone, not optional, not emotional. Just what they do, no matter what. A routine is more than just a schedule. It's a commitment to show up even when you don't feel ready. Because the truth is, if you rely on how you feel each day, you'll never follow through. Life will always get in the way. You'll always be tired, busy, distracted, or overwhelmed. But when your actions are tied to routine instead of feeling, something powerful happens. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop asking, "Do I feel like it today?" And start saying, "This is what I do, period." Think about a writer who sits down every morning to write a paragraph. Just one. It's not grand or glamorous. It's not hours of poetic brilliance. But it's consistent. And over time, those paragraphs turn into chapters, and those chapters become books. Not because the writer was inspired every day, but because she had a non-negotiable routine. The same applies to someone trying to improve their health. You don't need a 2-hour gym session with perfect lighting and the right playlist. You need consistency. You need to do something every day, even if it's just 10 push-ups in your bedroom, even if it's a 5-minute stretch before bed. Because those small actions aren't just physical movement, they are identity builders. They are the daily votes you cast for the person you want to become. And here's the part that most people don't understand. Structure creates freedom. It seems like a contradiction. How can doing the same things at the same time every day make you feel free? But the answer lies in the mental clarity it gives you. When your habits are locked in as routines, you free your mind from the weight of daily decisions. You don't waste energy debating what to do next. You've already decided. You don't waste time battling excuses. You've eliminated them. It's called decision fatigue, and it's real. The more decisions you make in a day, the more exhausted your mind becomes. That's why high performers eliminate as many daily choices as possible. They wear the same clothes, eat the same meals, follow the same routine. Not because they're boring, but because they're focused. They save their energy for the things that matter. And that starts with locking in the basics. When you build rituals into your life, rituals that align with your goals, you stop being at the mercy of the moment. You show up whether it's raining or sunny, whether you're sad or excited, whether it's Monday or Sunday. And that consistency, over time, becomes your superpower. Set a time, set a place, and make it sacred. Protect it like you would a meeting with someone important. Because here's the truth, it is someone important. It's a meeting with the future version of yourself, the version you're building. And every time you honor that routine, you step 1 inch closer to becoming her. We're living in a time where everything screams for our attention. Scroll, swipe, click. The next big thing is always just a moment away. Social media shows us highlights, the success stories, the glow-ups, the wins. But what it never shows is the process, the long, uneventful, lonely hours, the days where nothing exciting happens, the parts of the journey where you question why you even started. And yet, that's exactly where the real growth happens. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. Not in excitement, but in boredom. We've been conditioned to expect fast results. We want transformation in 30 days. We want skills without practice. We want abs without sweat, followers without purpose, success without sacrifice. But reality doesn't work that way. Mastery is boring, it's slow, it's painfully repetitive. But it's also the most honest kind of progress you'll ever make. Think of Michelangelo, lying on his back, day after day, painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, 4 years of his life. Not in comfort, not surrounded by admiration, but in silence and strain. There were no likes, no comments, no applause echoing through that space while he worked. Just stone, paint, and time. It was boredom turned into brilliance. That's what you need to embrace. The quiet work, the daily repetition, doing the same thing over and over, knowing that no one's watching and doing it anyway. Because the truth is, success isn't about intensity. It's about consistency. Anyone can give 100% for a week. But can you give 70% for a year? Can you show up when it's inconvenient, when it's dull, when nothing seems to be changing? Most people quit not because it's too hard, but because it's too quiet, too uneventful. They mistake boredom for failure. They think that if it doesn't feel exciting, it must not be working, but that's a lie. The most powerful results come from ordinary actions done repeatedly over time, This is where the compound effect takes over. Small actions done consistently don't just add up, they multiply. One workout doesn't change your body. One journaling session doesn't heal your mind. But 1,000 of them that rewires your life, the world won't notice at first. Your progress will be invisible. But that doesn't mean it's not happening. Like seeds planted underground, change takes root in silence. You have to force yourself to fall in love with repetition. You have to train your mind to find pride in the process, not the praise. To find joy in the routine, not just the result. That's the difference between those who dabble and those who master. One seeks stimulation. The other seeks transformation. You don't become great by doing great things once. You become great by doing simple things, boring things, again and again with care, with presence, with purpose. The morning run, the evening reflection, the focused hour of deep work, those aren't distractions from success. They are success. So stop chasing what's new. Stop needing every day to be exciting. Accept that most of your growth will feel ordinary. Accept that the results may not come when you want them to. And still, show up. Do the work. Lean into the dull, because one day, after months or years of quiet, someone will look at your life and ask how you did it. And you'll smile, knowing that the answer wasn't magic, it was the boring work. Done with relentless heart, the more decisions you have to make, the more likely you are to make the wrong one, or none at all. Every single day you're already bombarded with choices: what to wear, what to eat, what to reply, what to focus on. Your brain is on decision overload before you even step out the door. So when it comes to the habits that really matter, the ones that could change your life, you need to make things simpler, not harder. If you wake up each morning asking, should I go to the gym today? Or should I work on my goals? You're already losing. That small pause, that tiny opening for negotiation, is where discipline dies. The answer is to remove the choice. Make the decision once and automate it. Don't leave it open for debate every day. Build triggers into your environment that make action automatic. This isn't about being robotic. It's about being smart. You're not trying to be perfect, you're trying to be consistent. And the best way to stay consistent is to reduce the number of times you need to decide to do the right thing. Let your surroundings work for you. Place your workout clothes next to your bed before you sleep. So when you wake up, you don't need to think, you just put them on. That visual cue tells your brain it's time to move. Set your phone to do not disturb at the same time every night. Not because it feels good, but because it signals the end of your day and creates space for recovery. Use calendar alerts to nudge you into journaling, meditating, or working on your dream, not as a reminder of what you should do, but as a commitment to what you will do. Habits don't just stick because of willpower. They stick because they've been carefully wired into your routine. That wiring begins with cues. Cues tell your brain, this is what comes next. They guide you forward before your lazy mind has a chance to argue. When there's no cue, no structure, you leave yourself vulnerable to distraction, hesitation, and ultimately, procrastination. Think of it like this. Every time you have to use willpower, you're spending energy. And energy is limited. The more you spend resisting temptation or fighting laziness, the less you have for actually doing the work. But when your environment pushes you toward the action, your brain doesn't have to burn fuel deciding. It just moves. Even the most successful people don't rely on endless motivation. They rely on design. They design their spaces, schedules, and systems to support their goals. They don't leave things to chance because chance is unreliable. If success is important to you, it needs to be protected from the chaos of daily life. And the way to protect it is through triggers, through rituals that reduce decision-making and increase action. You'll be amazed at how much more consistent you become when you stop leaving your habits up for debate. Because most of the time, it's not that you can't do something, it's that you gave yourself just enough space to talk yourself out of it. Don't leave room for negotiation. Don't wait until you feel ready. Let your environment carry you. Let your triggers lead you. And before you know it, the actions that once felt hard will start to feel automatic, not because you force them every day, but because you set yourself up to win. Your mind is a master negotiator. It knows all the right words to convince you to back down, to take it easy, to press pause, just for today. It doesn't yell, it whispers gently, persuasively. It sounds like reason. It sounds like kindness. You're tired. It says, you've done enough. One day off won't matter. You'll get back to it tomorrow. And just like that, your commitment begins to slip through your fingers. But here's the truth, your feelings lie. Not because they're bad, but because they're fleeting. They shift with the weather, the news, the people around you, the mood you wake up in. You can't build anything solid on something that changes by the hour. If you let your emotions decide your actions, your life will look like your feelings, scattered, inconsistent, and unreliable. That's why the process matters more than how you feel. The process is the plan you made when your vision was clear, when your why was strong, when you weren't tired or scared or overwhelmed. Trust that version of you, the one who built the plan, not the one who's trying to avoid it. It doesn't matter whether you feel like doing it. What matters is that you do it. The people who accomplish incredible things in life don't do so because they feel amazing every day. They do so because they don't let how they feel dictate what they do. They show up in the rain, in the dark, in discomfort, because their process is bigger than their mood. Think of the person who trains every morning at 5 a.m. They're not superhuman. They're not addicted to pain. They've simply stopped asking themselves how they feel about it. They don't negotiate with the voice that says, you've earned a break. They just go. Because they understand that each time you follow the plan, especially when you don't want to, you build power, real power. The kind that isn't shaken by stress or laziness or fear. And yes, the voice that built your plan is quieter, less emotional, less dramatic, but it's steady. It's grounded in truth. It remembers what you're working toward. It sees the bigger picture. That's the voice you need to listen to. Because it's the only one that cares about your future more than your comfort. Feelings are not the enemy. They just don't belong in the driver's seat. Acknowledge them, respect them, but don't obey them. When your body says stop, ask if it's discomfort or danger. Most of the time, it's just resistance, fear in disguise. And the more you override it, the more resilient you become. The more you build your identity around discipline, not desire. You won't always feel like waking up early. You won't always feel like doing the work. That's normal. That's human. But the question is, can you act anyway? Can you trust the system you built when everything inside you wants to run the other direction? If you can, you'll start to feel something different, not motivation, but pride. Not hype, but strength. Because nothing is more empowering than keeping a promise to yourself. That is how you gain momentum. That is how you become someone uncheckable. So when the voice inside your head whispers all the reasons you should wait, rest, stop, let it talk, and then move forward anyway, the results you want won't come from chasing how you feel. They'll come from honoring your process, relentlessly, quietly, day after day. Progress can be quiet. It doesn't always shout. It doesn't always show up in ways the world can see. And that's why so many people give up too soon. They don't stop because they aren't improving. They stop because they can't see they're improving. That's the danger of working hard without feedback. When you don't track your effort, it starts to feel like it doesn't matter, like you're moving but going nowhere. That's when burnout sneaks in. That's when you start to ask, what's the point? But there is a point. Every single step counts. Every decision to stay on track when it would have been easier to quit matters. The problem is we forget. We forget what we've already accomplished because we didn't take the time to record it. And that's why tracking matters. Not for perfection, not for pressure, but for proof. It gives you visible evidence that you're moving forward. Even when your feelings try to tell you otherwise. It doesn't need to be complicated. Use a notebook, use an app. Use a calendar and mark on X for every day you kept a promise to yourself. That tiny act of checking a box may seem meaningless until you see a row of them lined up in front of you. That's not just ink on paper, that's momentum. That's your commitment made visible. And when motivation fades, which it always does, that little row of X's might be the only thing that keeps you going, because it tells you, I've already come this far, I'm not stopping now. Small wins are the heartbeat of long-term success. One healthy meal won't transform your body. One early morning won't build your dream. One good choice won't rewrite your identity. But when you stack enough of them together, when you track them, acknowledge them, celebrate them, they start to change you. They rewire how you see yourself. You stop saying, I'm trying, and start believing, this is who I am now. Celebrate the walk you took instead of skipping it. Celebrate the one page you read instead of none. Celebrate the 10-minute workout, the 3 lines you journaled, the day you went to bed on time. Those aren't throwaway moments. They are evidence that you're becoming someone consistent, someone reliable, someone who shows up. Science backs this up. A study from Princeton found that people who track their habits are twice as likely to stick with them. Why? Because it lights up the reward system in your brain. It creates a little internal win, and your brain loves wins, even tiny ones. So it wants to repeat the behavior that gave it that feeling. Over time, this creates a loop, a powerful one. You act. You track, you feel good, you act again. And the cycle continues, but this only works if you slow down long enough to notice what you've done. Too often, we rush right past our progress, chasing some future version of success we haven't reached yet. But the goal isn't just out there, it's also right here in the fact that you're still going, still trying, still showing up, and that is worth celebrating. You don't need massive breakthroughs to stay on the path. You just need small, visible reminders that you're not where you started. And every time you see one, you remind yourself, I'm building something, I'm growing, I'm becoming. Not all at once, but one small win at a time. Consistency is not about perfection. You will mess up. You will miss a day, but the goal is to never miss 2. Don't chase streaks, chase identity. You are someone who shows up, someone who pushes through, someone who finishes what they start. Because the truth is, the world doesn't need more talented people. It needs more consistent ones. So force yourself. No matter how tired, no matter how distracted, no matter how uncertain, show up. The future belongs to those who do it anyway.